Hello, everyone. Welcome to round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup here at the Sim Gaming Expo in Schaumburg, Illinois. My name is Josh Mertz. Alongside me, Bryan Sawyer from the Automotive Sports Network. And Bryan, yesterday we had the photo finish at VIR. We had the calamity in Sebring. We're here at Lime Rock. You called it an oval with features. How are you? What are your thoughts? As let's take a look as we are finishing up practice. As in practice right now, 56.704 for Logan Frey. And Matt Malone in fourth right now, 56.791. As such a fun track here at Lime Rock, oval with features, 1.5 miles, 7 turns in total. And as we take a look in practice with these guys just finishing up, as we have unofficial points of this Heusinkveld Sprint Cup, we're going to take a look shortly at those as we have them now. Matt Malone at the top of the table with 670. Kyle Genske, 630. Is it going to be same song, third verse, fourth verse today? Who has any idea? Travis Ewart in third with 550. Then it's Trevor Huff, Timothy Rosenfield, John Miller, Logan Frey, John Dwayne, Zach Place, and Richard Dempsey rounding out the top 10 with Mark Cohn, Eric Nixon, Wes Spence, Michael Pico, and Jose Guerra in 15. So Logan Frey, 56.704. Richard Dempsey, 56.734. John Dwayne, 56.761. Matt Malone, 56.791 in practice. The entire field is separated by 0.6 of a second. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a repeat of yesterday. And Bryan, do we need our seatbelts, our hard hats, everything like that to figure this one out? As let's take a look. Interesting about the Lime Rock circuit. We take a look on screen there. Normally you'd run the chicane. We're not running the chicane. You have the right-hand uphill corner, blind exit, very terrifying. Tires on the exit of that corner. As practice finishing up now, as we take a look at our driver's rigs here at the Sim Gaming Expo in Schaumburg. Day 2 of 3. Thanks for joining us, whether it's in person or on Twitch. It's going to be an awesome time today, and plenty of racing still to come later today and also tomorrow, of course. And as qualifying begins, our first car on track is Kyle Genske in the 505. Then we got John Dwayne, Richard Dempsey, and it's a change from yesterday. It is going to be single car qualifying. No slipstream fests, Bryan. Everyone has their own track. They get to mind their own business.
What was qualifying 3 laps? Yesterday we saw some cars bump drafting a little too much. Only 5 cars got the qualifying time in. So we'll see everybody getting these times. They got 20 minutes to set 3 laps. And I'm estimating we're going to be in around the 1 minute range per lap here.
Around 57 seconds, 56 seconds, 56 fastest was Logan Frey, 56.7. So just about 57-second lap times over a 20-minute race. So let's estimate maybe 22, 23 laps, but we'll get to that when we do. And Kyle Genske begins his qualifying run at 117 miles an hour, braking for turn number 1, Big Bend, turn 1 and 2. Kind of a double apex corner here at Lime Rock. Stay driver's right, flip the curbs ever so slightly, and then full driver's left into the left-hander and the right-hander. Just want to give a shout out to Andrew Cardinale IV and Whiplash Sim Cams for these camera angles today and all weekend long for the Sim Gaming Expo. Super awesome to be working with you, my friend. And now Genske heads to the uphill turn 5, blind exit over the crest, basically a rallycross track as you take the jump down to turn 6, West Bend. That's another chicane you can use, but we're just going to do the oval with features. If Bryan, you said if they didn't have turns 3 and 4, it would basically be Pocono turning right.
Together. All the cars just right in one line once that race gets started.
As lap times begin to roll in, Trevor Huff, 57.131. Logan Frey, 57.2. Travis Ewert, 57.316. John Dwayne, 57.351. Wes Spence, 57.360. So all of these guys are within a tenth of a second. Michael Pico in 12th at a 58.416. I want to pick up Matt Malone if we can and take a look as he goes second quick at a 57.245. Is the points leader for the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup. Half a car length away from taking 2 out of 2 races in this Sprint Cup so far. Had a last to first challenge yesterday in VIR. Came 1 spot short. And in Sebring, pulled away and led from the start in car number 1. As Kyle Genske goes P1 at a 57.098. As we keep focused on Matt Malone. Logan Frey goes P1 at a 56.8. Travis Ewert, 56.9. The times begin to tumble. As Pico crosses the line, he goes 15th. Matt Malone off the final corner. Foot to the floor, 115 miles an hour, crossing the start-finish line. Where will he go? And he moves 56.933. He goes to second quick by 0.036 of a second.
Now Genski's going to be the next car to cross the line, Josh. See what he can do.
As finding Genske final corner. You don't want to push the curb too far on either side, entry or exit. And as Genske crosses the line, what will he do? 57.017. So he improves just barely. He does not improve his position. Zach Blaze to 5th, Richard Dempsey to 10th. As we ride on board Timothy Rosenfield in the 5.02. As he heads to Big Bend into the first 2 corners. And Bryan, what's interesting about this combination that we're having at the moment, the Mazda and Lime Rock, it's entry-level content. As a new iRacing member, you'll have this car, you'll have this track, and this will be one that you'll be racing in the Rookie Mazda Cup.
Yeah, this could be your very first race on iRacing. They're here quite frequently.
As Matt Malone, sorry to cut you off, Bryan, P1, 56.892, as he's looking to extend his points lead. Continue, sorry.
I was going to say also, while we were talking about that, I saw Wes Spence loop it, destroyed his 3rd lap time. So this lap's not going to count. Looks like he's going to end up in 13th. But I was fixing a technical issue when you guys were going over points. Logan Frey up front, he's second in points, is he not?
We will take a second look at those points, unless, Dustin, you want to pull those up here shortly. Everyone looks like they're done with their qualifying runs, so let's actually take a second look at the points. That'll be Matt Malone on pole position, and it's Genske in second, Logan Frey in 7th. So this
I don't know what I was looking at earlier then.
That's okay, Bryan. It's a good opportunity for him, starting in the 2nd spot, 7th in points, but arguably we've seen qualifying position matter. And it also doesn't matter with Matt Malone's challenge at VIR yesterday.
Exactly, and I'm going to see the last 2 races. I think the gloves are going to come off.
As we have finished up qualifying, we will head to gridding here shortly at Lime Rock Park for round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup at the Sim Gaming Expo. Let's take a look at our grid. It's Matt Malone on pole position in car number 1, 56.892. Logan Frey by 0.005 of a second starts P2. Travis Ewert in the 7.02, alongside him, Kyle Genske in the 5.05. Then we have Zach Blaze and John Dwayne on the 3rd row of the grid. John Miller and Trevor Huff on the 4th row of the grid, 7th and 8th. We've got Timothy Rosenfield and Eric Nixon, 9th and 10th. Richard Dempsey and Michael Pico in 11th and 12th, 6th row of the grid. Wes Spence and Mark Cohn on the 7th row of the grid, and Jose Guerra last in 15th. And if I'm reading that correctly, Bryan, the entire field is within 0.678 of a second.
Yeah, Lime Rock's a track everybody knows very well. All the rookie and D-Class series are here. And with no chicanes, it's pretty hard to get a slower lap time.
As we just await to head to the grid. And like we've mentioned, of course, after this race, don't go anywhere. We have the 4th and final round of this Sprint Cup at Daytona. And It's not the full oval at Daytona, but we do run the infield road course, run the bus stop. But in the real world, I took a look at Mazdas this February when they were there, Bryan. They were 5 wide going into turn 1 there. So later on, it's going to be super fun.
They will do that.
As we begin to grid here in Lime Rock for our third race of the championship. And everyone rolls and getting ready for this standing start. I would say, Bryan, predict a winner. But you asked me the same question. I don't have an answer for you.
I don't know. I mean, I see Genski in 4th. The top 3 start fighting. He just might get a little lucky, but all these cars being that close together, I think anything up front, it's a real, you're going to have to pull some magic in your hat to win that.
Everybody gridded. We get ready for round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup in Lime Rock. Green flag off the line. Malone gets a good jump. Frey crosses in front of Ewert to settle into second. Genski in 4th. Blaze side by side with Dwayne down to Big Bend. First set of corners. Everyone minding their own business. But Ewert wants to find a way around already. Rosenfield and Huff side by side through the corner. Everyone being respectful so far on this initial start. Wes Spence in the back of the field might have had a bad start in 15th as we head to the right-hander through the no-name straight, which Bryan really isn't a straight, and heading towards the uphill for the first time. Pico and Dempsey mid-pack, side by side. Terrifying to get this right, especially when you got a car on your left side. They touch, they save it as we head to West Bend. For the first time, that wasn't over. They come together, around goes Dempsey in the 69, and Bryan, his championship has gotten worse yet again.
Race first to last, and now this. That car is, looking at it off monitor, they're struggling to get around. He's going to have to go to the pits to fix that one. I don't know if we have a fast repairer here or not, but it looks like he's going to keep going.
As we do have one fast repair. Michael Pico in the tail end of this lead pack. He hit the grass, nearly lost it, battling with Jose Guerrero in the 404. Miller and Dwayne side by side. We were on board with Malone for a second, looking back at Logan Frey. And Trevor Huff trying to find a way around in the 54 from the 8th position. Down the hill, heading to the final corner and onto the Sam Posey straightaway here at Lime Rock as we ride on board Zach Place in car number 4, position number 5. Ewert looking drivers right ahead of him into turn number 1 as Malone leads. Frey second.
Losing all balance, keeping it together well.
It looked as though when he came together on that first lap, it was bumper to right rear contact. And the suspensions are very sensitive, so he might have some suspension damage there. The 69 not having a good time in the back of the field. As Matt Malone, 57-0 was his last lap. Everyone right around that benchmark. And everyone in the, as you phrased it yesterday, Bryan, in the Caterpillar as we wind our way through Lime Rock.
First 4 cars within a second of each other, and then pretty much top 10, 2 seconds, and then a little spread out a little further back, but it's anybody's race at this point. We're all on top of each other.
As taking a look at our timing tower, we've got the top 5 within, let's call it a second. John Miller just a couple tenths behind. So the pack beginning to spread out, just a pinch. And Matt Malone already beginning to defend. We still ride on board John Dwayne. Now we look back to Logan Frey from Matt Malone. Frey looks outside. Travis Ewert says, thank you very much. And they come together. He almost saved it. He does not. Off the road goes Frey. And Bryan, the commentator's curse from you continues. And the good qualifying run gone for Frey. And I'll tell you what, though, does Kyle Genski have a horseshoe somewhere? Because they came together, and now he's in second, and we have the third verse of this song.
You can script it. Well, they might.
We got one car off. That was just a replay. Apologies for that. We took a look at that contact into Big Bend. So Genski, 3/10 up the last time around, as we've got 17 minutes. Plenty of time for this battle to continue. And if you're Matt Malone, you got to run and hide. But he knows, breaking the slipstream. We've got Rosenfield and Dwayne side by side heading into Big Bend. Rosenfield gets the spot. Came across in front of Dwayne in the braking zone. We've got Pico and Guerra side by side. And that is for the 9th and 10th position.
Ski might have got the beneficiary of the getting up to second there with the Frey incident. He's got to really do work though. He's got to stay on Matt Malone, because if he loses that draft, Matt's just going to run away with it. He's within 0.6 of a second. I don't know how strong it is on these cars, but I don't think it's that much. So he's got to really, really keep it together.
Especially, I think the straightaways here at Lime Rock are shorter than a couple at Sebring. So you don't have a long time. Blaze on Ewert off the final corner. We ride on board with Dwayne. If we could pick this battle up for third with Ewert and Blaze side by side into the corner. Miller sneaking into the picture, thought about 3 wide. We look back from Blaze to Miller. Miller gets Ewert, and now Huff sneaking into the picture as well. And we were just talking, Bryan, about Genski closing in on Matt Malone, and the gap is 0.3 of a second.
Looks like he's doing it. The draft is stronger than I'm thinking. Let's say he caught it all on the back straight there. Was about 0.3.
These two have a second between Genski and Blaze. It's Miller, Ewert, the top 5. Trevor Huff, Timothy Rosenfield, John Dwayne, Logan Frey, Michael Pico off the road in the 10th position. With Jose Guerra looking to the inside. They'll be side by side. We have a battle for the lead. Genski closing. Had it done on the outside. Malone sneaks to the inside, side by side. No quarter given between these guys as we round turns 1 and 2. Can Genski hold it on the outside? He can't. They're side by side. Into turn 3. Respectful racing, plenty of room given, and Genski to the lead. Now, Bryan.
Very respectful.
What's the game plan if you're Matt Malone?
Do the same thing right back in a couple laps. You got to get your composure together. Make sure you got it set up. Is you don't want to risk a mistake here. First, second, can't really afford to lose it. Genski's also got a first, second.
As will Matt Malone slipstream? He gets a good run off the final corner. Looks driver's right, pulling immense speed compared to Genski as he led at the line and down to turn number 1. Takes the spot for the moment.
I think he's going to hold it.
As Malone and Genski, 1 and 2. It's Miller and Blaze, 3 and 4. Ewert in 5th. Trevor Huff in 6th. Those 6 are within a second and a half. We got one car with damage here, and it is Mark Cohn taking a second look as they came together into turn 1, it looks like. As one car was around, it was Timothy Rosenfield, and through the smoke, nothing doing, and Mark Cohn to the pit lane.
Josh, I think I know how this race is going to end. I think these two are going to be glued together, and it's going to be side by side right at the line again.
You're telling me the chair's going to break?
Yeah, that chair might break. We might have to switch.
As 11 minutes left, we're looking at about 21 laps. We are on lap number 10, so let's call it halfway through of round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup here at the Sim Gaming Expo in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thanks for hanging out with us live. Thanks for hanging out with us on Twitch. Josh Mertz, Bryan Sawyer, the Automotive Sports Network, with the call today. And Matt Malone, left side's on the dirt, compromising corner exit, compromising his speed. But, Bryan, I wouldn't make a move if you're Genski into the uphill. Too risky.
Not to the uphill. Yeah, you're going up the hill. These cars, I mean, they're not the fastest, but even when you get up there, you feel the looseness in the steering wheel. You feel the weightlessness of the car.
Battle for 4th Blaze passes Ewert, and Huff now looking as well. And there's one terrifying thing in these cars specifically. When you head to that uphill, car gets light, very easy to panic and make a mistake and end up into the tires. Genske looking. Malone gave him just enough room as we also take a look as the battle has subsided for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Keeping our eyes on the battle for the lead. We got Wes Spence and Michael Pico for the 10th spot, Bryan.
Yeah, looking at Pico making the move on the inside. Spence goes around. I didn't do it this time.
And the luck has gone from bad to worse for car number 16.
I don't think they touched there. I just think Spence got a little wide. Tires got a little loose. Oh, no, they did touch. Looking back, they touched just a little.
Yeah. Ever so slightly. And around Spence went. So if you're John Miller now, Bryan, in the catbird seat, these guys are going to have a fun time. Wouldn't say they're going to crash. We haven't seen any crashing from them for the last 2 races. But utilize the slipstream, make a last-second move. We'll just have to see. Malone leads Genske and Miller. As the rest of the pack pretty calm. So far, we've lost Mark Cohn and Timothy Rosenfield due to incidents earlier on. 9 minutes left here at Lime Rock.
It's a little more spread out than I thought it would be. We got maybe 3 little distinct groups here. Maybe about the first 5, and then 2 or 3 cars, second little pack, and then the backpack.
That's okay. We're going to have our second NASCAR restrictor plate race in a little bit later on. As we had VIR be our first one, we're going to have Daytona coming up shortly. As the gap between Malone and Genske, call it a 10th and a half. We end lap 12. He looks driver's right, looking to the inside. Just telling Matt Malone, hey, I'm here. You make a mistake, but Malone runs it a little bit deep into turn 1. Side by side, exiting 2. Genske, can he clear him? No, he can't. Malone can fight back. They touch! And Genske slides at Malone. Looks like he saved him for a little bit, but Genske now drops 3rd, 4th, 5th now in the 505. Frey looks to the inside. Does he clear him? He shoves Genske off the track. And Ewert now trying to take the fight to him. And this is crucial in the championship for Genske losing points, Bryan.
You're mad. I know you don't want that to happen. You touched. You could see he tried to save that car, but unfortunately it just spun around. Got a little too loose on him. It's real hard to save the car. I mean, we race rallycross all the time. You see you do it to somebody, you never want it to happen, especially when you're racing for racing for the championship like that.
Really quickly, battle for second. Zach Blaze and John Miller. They door bang into turn 1. Matt Malone's unscathed. Here comes Trevor Huff. 2-for-1 special. Move him to second. As the racing getting intense here in Lime Rock. And Logan Frey in 5th. And one of the most disheartening things as a racing driver, Bryan, when you are mid-slide and you think to yourself, I've got this car saved, this Blaze around. He doesn't have the car saved, and involved is Kyle Genske. 2nd place in points into turn number 4. Back to the pit lane for Frey. And Bryan, Genske's car all torn up as we've got Dwayne passing Ewert. Action all over.
Tell you, Josh, all the other drivers that aren't Genske and we're not involved in that are definitely smelling blood right now. They see their chances open up wide. They're all going to be fighting as hard as they can to get back up to the front, to catch Matt, to get where they need to be. To make something happen here. Is falling that far back, 2nd place might be gone for him for this competition.
All right, everyone, let's get a reset with 6 minutes left to go after the incident in turn number 4. Leading is Matt Malone by, let's call it 3.5 tenths, maybe 4, over Trevor Huff. John Miller in 3rd, John Dwayne 4th, Travis Ewert in 5th, Jose Guerra in 6th, Michael Pico 7th, Eric Nixon, Kyle Genske 2nd, points back to 9th, Richard Dempsey and Wes Spence 11th and last of the running cars. We've lost Logan Frey, we've lost Zach Blaze, Mark Cohn, and Timothy Rosenfield from this 3rd race this afternoon.
Surprised we haven't lost Genske. Looking at his car, the whole front end is just completely torn up. I'm surprised the car is still running.
I learned once back in 2017, Bryan, when I crashed at a NASA race, and I said, I'm going to park the car. I didn't park the car, and it helped me win the championship. So Genski, you never know. He is in ninth, yes, but every position you gain could help you in the championship. We don't know if these guys are going to wad it up later on. With how the racing has been the last 2 days, it could happen. We'll have to see.
Stay on the track as long as that car will let you.
As Trevor Huff, John Miller in second and third. Driver's eye view of John Miller. Car number 11 in position number 3. I'll tell you what, I want to keep an eye on Genski's lap times off monitor, Bryan, seeing what he'll be able to do with a demolished race car. Because if there's one thing I know, when you get involved in a crash or you make a mistake, you end up seeing red and you end up going quicker. Four and a half minutes left as we begin lap 17, estimating 21 laps. So let's call it 5 laps to go.
Yeah, we're definitely a lot more spread out now, though. I didn't think Lime Rock would be the race of attrition, but when you're all that close, one car goes, you're collecting a whole lot of people.
And there's no pavement runoff like there is at most tracks. This is an old school track. You've got racing surface, you've got a paint line, you've got a curb, and it's grass. There's no margin for error at this circuit at all. Wonderful old school circuit here at Lime Rock.
Yeah, the grass is a lot better than it used to be. It used to slide like ice once you touched it. It's a lot better, but it's still not great. You touch the grass and you're going for a ride. You really got to collect the car. I almost don't want to go 2 wheels off. I'd rather go all 4 and make a bigger cut.
So Malone beginning to weave again. 0.3 ahead of Trevor Huff. John Miller 0.6 behind the race leader. And then it is 5 seconds from the race leader to John Dwayne. Car number 1 to car number 30. So it's a 3-horse race for round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup here at the Sim Gaming Expo. And if Matt Malone can hang on, that'll be second, first, and first. As Dustin, perfect. Let's go back and take a look at this. We got Jose Guerra, Michael Pico, and Eric Nixon. 6th, 7th, and 8th. Huge run for Pico on the exit of the right-hander. They'll be side by side for the no-name straight to the uphill. Guerra maybe lets him go. And Pico up the hill. I can't stress enough, Bryan, how terrifying it is in the uphill. You crest, and like we mentioned, it just gets light. It's terrifying.
Terrifying just in my rig at home. I really want to go later on and try one of these nice motion rigs they have here and just see how that feels, having just the weightlessness of the car.
Battle for the lead. Huff looked inside. Nothing doing yet. We speak about weightlessness. You put me on the motion rig to our left. The dirt rally took a jump. It was an odd experience. Awesome to have all these rigs at the expo here in Schaumburg. So Trevor Huff, peek to the inside, told Matt Malone, hey, I'm here, waiting for his moment. And I think, Bryan, unlike Sebring, unlike VIR, turn 1 might be your only shot as Malone off the road saves it, pushing hard to hold.
That's what I mean. You want to go all 4 off. All 4 off, he kept it going.
Trevor Huff using all the road and then some. We are heading to 2 laps to go here in Lime Rock. All 4 off again for Huff. John Miller's got the slipstream, looking drivers left. Side-by-side battle for second. Matt Malone loves this. Best friends with both of these guys at the moment as they continue to squabble for the second place. Huff holds it. Miller could not hang around the outside. Palm through the rest of the field here. Let me take a look at Matt Malone.
I think we're about to be coming up to the white flag, Josh.
As just over a minute left to go. In the bottom box, we look at our race leader, Matt Malone, fully focused. As Trevor Huff has 0.7 of a second, call it 3/4, to make up on Matt Malone, heading to the white flag. Into turn 7 and onto the Sam Posey straight for the penultimate time. Will we get the white flag? As Malone crosses to begin lap number 21, Barney has thrown the white flag. 1 lap left in Lime Rock. Huff in second, Miller third. Ewert and Dwayne battling for fourth. As like we've mentioned so many times, it doesn't matter if it's for the lead or for last. These guys will race like it's for the World Championship, no matter what position. Looks like the best battle we have is Dwayne and Ewert. Then we've got Pico, Guerra, and Nixon. As Matt Malone still maintaining half a second. It got cut by a few tenths, Bryan. But Matt Malone looking good.
Know how big of a point gap this is going to make, but if he just holds on the next race, it might be insurmountable.
Off the final corner, down the Sam Posey straightaway. Matt Malone weaving his way to the checkered flag, winning round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup. Trevor Huff in second. John Miller third on the podium. As we've got John Dwayne, Travis Ewert.
I don't know if the video picked that up. Matt Malone just sent it off the jump at the end. That was wonderful.
Vehicular gymnastics is a separate competition that I don't think is being held, but these guys are just claiming that it is anyways. As everyone having a good time. As I'm going to pass it off to Bryan for our post-race interview. As really quick, Malone, Huff, Miller, Dwayne, Ewert, Guerra, Nixon, Pico, Genski, Dempsey, the top 10. Then it's Spence, Frey, Blaise, Rosenfield, and Mark Cohn, 15th and last in our results. And Bryan is ready with Matt Malone for our post-race interview.
He'd get another hit and straighten out, but it looks like he overcorrected. But I haven't talked to him yet, but it seems like just a racing incident. So.
Yeah, it looked pretty much like a little racing incident there. Yeah. Going into the last race, 2 wins in a row and a second place. I think you just have to hold on to it. How are you feeling about Daytona?
Feeling good about Daytona because of the draft. Should keep everyone. The Daytona it's going to be a good finish race, I'm sure, because it's going to be a draft track. And then don't tell anybody else, but I'm using the apron.
I think they all just heard. I think the gloves are coming off. Have a good last race, and we'll get you to Daytona.
So we will take a second look at our results from Lime Rock. Matt Malone by 0.3 of a second over Trevor Huff in car number 54. Then we've got John Miller in third. Podium finish for him. John Dwayne, Travis Ewert, Jose Guerra, Eric Nixon, Michael Pico, Kyle Genski. We'll see what that does to him in points here in a moment. Richard Dempsey in 10th, Wes Spence, Logan Frey, Zach Blaise, Timothy Rosenfield, and Mark Cohn rounding out the field. Wes Spence was the last car on track. And unofficially, that's a decent points gap, Bryan. As Matt Malone.
He just has to hold on to it. I think it's something like 350 points for a win.
As 350 for a win, we did get confirmation on that. So huge gap for Matt Malone. We've seen crazy things happen in real life racing, in sim racing. You could have the perfect season all season long and have one mistake in that final race. As Huff in third, Ewert fourth, Miller fifth, Dwayne, Frey, Nixon, Dempsey, and Rosenfield, the top 10 in the championship. And as we take a look.
Looking at those points, I think second through fourth, they have the opportunity if something happens to Matt in this last race.
And it's going to be a hornet's nest between those guys at Daytona. But also, on Matt Malone, you have nowhere to go and nowhere to hide with the super speedway high banks, especially. It's draft city there in these cars.
Yeah, exactly. He said he's using the apron.
As the under the yellow line is legal at Daytona in these cars. So it's going to be super interesting to watch as Lime Rock has concluded for round 3 of the Heusinkveld Sprint Cup. Guys, don't go anywhere, whether you're here or whether you're on Twitch. Round 4 at Daytona will be coming up shortly. Stick around.